Okay, the purpose of this video is to show you how to navigate and take sources from the Ebsco host database that our school subscribes to. I think it's the best database we have. I think it's the most academic, just personal opinion. Most likely what you'd see when you go to college and research from databases at your college in the future. So begin by having NoodleTools open, and for the purpose here, I'm going to be an LA 11 student named Joe Smith. So here's Joe Smith's research paper. And if you go to sources, you see Joe Smith already has a number of sources he got from the Opposing Viewpoints database. But today, Joe Smith wants to add some sources from the Ebsco host database. So to get to Ebsco, what you're going to do, go to Google and put in KAHS LibGuides and click to the virtual library there and click here to visit the LibGuides. And once you're there, as always, click the Language Arts tab at the top and you'll come to the Language Arts page. So you started off probably by going into Opposing Viewpoints, but now I'm going to have you go here, which is the EBSCO Discovery Service. And I'm going to continue, Joe Smith is going to continue his topic with homeschooling and hit search, and that should take you to the EBSCO host database. Let's see if it works. Some still here. See if we're connecting. Let's see if we're connecting. We might not be connecting. Joe Smith might be out of luck. The site cannot be reached. I clicked reload. Okay, I clicked reload and it gave me this. So hopefully you get here. In the Canvas assignment information, I'm not going to put it on the video because we subscribe to it, but you're going to want to make sure, this is an important first step, that you click. It says Hello Guest at the top. See here in the yellow bar. Hello Guest, log in for full access. And you are going to want to click there. And it's going to ask for your user ID and your password. So our user ID is Kutztown, and for the password, just go into the Canvas page and the password will be there. And once you put that in, if you click sign in, now you get to the full subscription site. So this is where you want to be. And now that you're here, just to show you a couple things, here's usually what I do when I'm working from EBSCO host. So on the left-hand side, not always, but oftentimes when you're doing research, current information is usually where I like to start. So there's this little slidey bar here on the left-hand side, and I would just take that and put it, I'd start at 2010. That's subjective though. You might start at the year 2000. You might even go more current to the year 2015, but that'll start filtering your articles to stuff that is more current. And then you also have source types, and I usually click academic journals. So this is the stuff that you know is it's peer reviewed. It's going to be the better information, and then you can start looking through your articles to see what article titles might be in the realm of what you want to talk about or what you want to argue about. So Joe Smith, my student, he's figuring out what does he want to say about homeschooling. Should students consider homeschooling, or should parents consider homeschooling their children, or is the brick and mortar school the way to go in person? So if you scan some titles, here's homeschooling and the perils of shared parental responsibility. So number one, you might have this, a PDF full text. If you click that, it might give you the actual full text, which is really nice, because eventually you might have page numbers on these. So when we get to the APA in-text citations, page numbers are always helpful. So here we see page 44. And once you have the PDF, you can actually download that puppy, and it's a nice way to keep your articles in a place on your computer and to stay organized, because that's a big part of doing research. So it's always nice to have the full PDFs. So anyway, let's say Joe Smith reads through this article and he learned some good information about homeschooling, and he definitely wants to use this in his research project. So if you just click the title to cite it, if you go to the right-hand side onto this one, so see my cursor, it's the one that looks like a piece of paper, and you hold your cursor over that, it says cite. So if you click that, you'll get all sorts of different ways to cite this, but remember, we're going to be in APA, so you have an author's last name. I guess this author's last name is pretty long. Barone Kolenk. And then A, that's the first initial. It could be, I don't know, Amber, Adam, Art, doesn't really matter. And then a year. So to cite these in NoodleTools, you're going to have to copy, again, make sure you get APA. You're going to have to copy, right click, copy the citation, and then go back to NoodleTools and do new source. And it's a database. It's an academic journal. Remember we clicked that? And then up on the top of NoodleTools, you're going to see it says Quick Cite, copy and paste citation. It makes it really easy. So click that, and then you go down into manually edited citation, right click, and well, I'm just going to do, we can do up here, edit, paste, write what we copied in from the EBSCOhost database, and everything should be properly formatted. You don't even have to touch anything else. And go down to the bottom, or right here, you click save, and it should add it to your NoodleTools. So now we have that source, right? Homeschooling and the perils of shared parental responsibility, right along with our other sources. And that's all there is to it. And then the key is, once you have the article, to read through it and to say, well, what pieces of information from this article are important to the paper you're writing. So just to show it one more time. So let's say, okay, well, Joe took that article, but there's a lot of good articles here. So let's see. Encouraging educational diversity, depictions of homeschoolers in middle grade fiction. That's pretty specific. Let's see. Homeschoolers' experience with a public library. Okay. Getting to know homeschoolers. Okay. Let's say, okay, well, none of those are really appealing to me. I'm going to go to the second page. Home is where the school is. The logic of homeschooling and the emotional labor of mothering. So home is where the school is. So that one seems like, just from the title, it might be an argument in favor of homeschooling. But anyway, let's say it's pretty awesome, and I'm going to read through it, and there's some information in this article that I like. So all sorts of stuff. So I definitely want to cite this one. So same process over here. And again, make sure you go to APA. This is written by a person named J.A. Sutherland, 2015. Copy it. And then back to NoodleTools. Again, up here, the green box, new source. It's a database. It is a journal. And quick cite up on the top. Copy and paste a citation. And Command V. And oh, that is not the one. That is not the right one, though, is it? That's the older one. So let's go back. So let me try that again. So copy. So you got to be paying attention when you're doing your research. There we go. Sutherland J. I don't know why that dash is in there. That's a very, very small detail. It does bother me, though, so I might just delete it. Make sure it looks a little bit better. And now we have our author and we have our year. Two most important pieces of information when doing APA. Research, we have our article title, and then the name of probably the journal in which it was published, and then the page or the edition, the volume. What's nice about APA is that, you should know what that stuff is, and if you're getting into it in college and actually writing to publish stuff, you can look up those specifics. But for our purposes right here, the author's last name and the year are what we're looking for and what we need. So save. All right. Now Joe Smith should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources on homeschooling. So that's some good research. The one we just added is right here, Sutherland J.A. All right. So that's how you cite, and that's how you take articles from the EBSCOhost database. Again, if you have the PDF full text, it's always nice to take that. So click that and then save it onto your computer in some folder where you're gathering your research. So again, to do that, once you have this bar, if you hit the download button, I'm just going to throw it on my desktop for now. It says content server, save it. And hey, it already exists. Okay, well, let's replace it. And then if I click that, it should be the article. So that's nice. If you have a printer at home, you can print it out. You can highlight, you can annotate to your however you want to do it, however you want to do the research. But all right, so that is how you work from EBSCOhost. If you have any questions, as always, please just email, and I will do my best to answer your questions.